Alrighty, welcome to the video, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing the Vibram V-Run shoe. Now, like all Vibram shoes, they are a very highly minimalist and barefoot running shoe. They provide a really true barefoot running experience. They are generally extremely lightweight, have really close to the ground feel, very minimal thickness in their sole, and they truly do give you the feeling of barefoot running with just that extra little layer of protection. So today I'll be reviewing the V-Run, which is more advertised as their road running shoe. So I'm going to break this video into 6 different categories that I'll be reviewing. I'll give a bit of a description about each category and just give it a nice simple rating out of 10. So let's get into the video. So the first category is weight. Now, like all Vibram shoes, they are extremely lightweight. So for a men's US 9.5, which is also a European 43, it comes in at 4.8 ounces, which is 136 grams. Now this is an extremely lightweight shoe. It has a lot of breathability and a very minimalist construction. So I've given this rating a 10 out of 10 for weight, simply because it is just super lightweight, even for a minimalist shoe. So when you are running, you do not feel any drag on your foot. And this is extremely beneficial when you are running slow or fast. Sometimes I find with footwear, if they are too heavy, they are quite difficult to run at a slow, easy pace, as they feel like they are dragging my foot down. With the V-Run, you do not have this issue at all. It's extremely lightweight. It barely feels like anything's on your foot at all. So for the weight, 10 out of 10. So the next category is comfort. Now I've given this rating a 9 out of 10. So for comfort, it is truly true to fit. It is very easy to slip on and fit each individual toe into its individual pockets. It wraps the foot really nicely. Like I said, it's extremely breathable. It has these little holes in the upper mesh, and it wraps right around the shoe, even into the heel cup. So it's extremely breathable. It reduces a lot of the sweating. And for a Vibram shoe, it actually has a little bit of extra rubber on the sole compared to most other models. And this just allows for a little bit of extra comfort, whether I'm out for a run or whether I'm just walking around or training in the gym. So it has amazing all-around comfort, amazing fit. It is also extremely flexible, even for a Vibram shoe. So like most minimalist shoes, they are known for their flexibility, but I noticed an extra amount of flexibility in this specific model, which just allows for total freedom of movement, which really adds to that overall comfort. And like most of the Vibrams, it has the simple drawstring with the Velcro, the little lockdown system, which means you can really choose the amount of tension you want in the midfoot. So you can truly personalize it to your shape of foot. I really love this function. It holds in place really well. So once you've locked down the shoe and picked the amount of tension you want on your midfoot, it truly does stay in place. Whether you're doing a trail run or a speed workout or even just training in the gym, you might be performing some plyometric movements, and it really does hold its shape and its comfort throughout the exercises. Now the next category I have listed is terrain, and this is how it performs on certain types of terrain. Now I've given this a 7.5 out of 10 because I find this is a more generalist shoe and doesn't necessarily excel in any specific type of terrain. However, I find this to be a very good all-purpose shoe as it performs very well on a multiple variety of terrains. So when it comes to concrete and road running, minimalist shoes are never going to stand up to the highly cushioned footwear, as the highly cushioned footwear is basically designed to perform very well on these hard concrete and road surfaces, and they provide a lot of feedback and energy return. However, this model of the Vibram shoes has a little bit more rubber underfoot compared to the other models, so it does provide a little bit of extra cushioning. So if you are adapted to minimalist footwear, I believe that you'll really love the underfoot experience. If I'm ever taking minimalist shoes on the concrete or road, this is my go-to shoe. Now, if you take this shoe onto trails, even quite technical terrain, it certainly holds its own. It's not going to hold up the same as a trail specific shoe that has deeper lugs and more grippy sole, but it still performs very well even on slippery terrain and even in the rain. Now, this is my favourite shoe when it comes to gym and strength training, just as I find the sole and the foundation of it is nice and wide like all Vibram shoes, but it is very well evenly distributed. It has a nice bit of flexibility, so it doesn't matter what exercise I'm performing, it allows the feet to be truly free and allows to get the most out of the strength and the use of the feet, whether I'm deadlifting or performing farmer's carries or squats or plyometric exercises where jumping's involved or balancing's involved. I find this shoe very, very good, so it really excels there. So the next category is ground feedback. So the feel you get when your feet touch the ground and how much feedback you receive, how much information you can receive. And this is a 10 out of 10. Like all Vibram shoes and most other minimalist footwear, because you have a thin sole underfoot, your sensory receptors are ignited and you get a really good ground feedback. You understand how your feet are landing underneath the terrain, whether you're out on the trails or in the gym. Now, this is the same across the board for all minimalist footwear, but I do find that the V-Run has a unique underfoot experience even for a minimalist shoe. So Vibram even advertised this shoe as being an ideal running shoe for those making the transition from traditional footwear to minimalist footwear. And I do certainly agree with their statement here. So you receive a little bit more comfort from the shoe, but you still have this full ground feedback and full sensory experience when you are wearing the shoe. That's why I've given this a 10 out of 10, because it truly excels and finds that nice balance between a little bit of cushioning, but still getting maximum feedback from the ground. Now the next category is energy return, which I've given this a 7 out of 10. Now energy return is basically how much your shoe is assisting you in providing energy in your run. So like I've said in other videos, when it comes to minimalist footwear, there's a trade-off going on. So because there is less cushioning in the shoe, there is less assistance to propel you forward, which is basically taking away and reducing the energy return. But on the other hand, because they are such lightweight and they do not drag your foot down, this as a byproduct actually gives you more energy return. So if you're adapted to minimalist footwear and you have a very efficient gait cycle, if you're very efficient in your stride, then you will find this shoe to be able to provide you with a good amount of energy return. Now it's still never going to be as efficient as something like a super shoe that has the highly cushioned and carbon plated technology, but for a minimalist shoe I think this model is really good. It seems to have a little bit of extra flexibility and snap in the forefoot that I've noticed when I pull the shoe back and release it, and you can feel it when you're running and when it propels you forward. Also, the fact that it is so lightweight means you can turn over the feet at a high cadence, therefore making you faster, providing more energy return. So over a short distance, if you're doing treadmill intervals or track intervals, or if you are running anywhere up to 5 to 10 kilometers, this is actually a surprisingly fast shoe, and I've actually hit quite a few personal bests in this specific shoe. Still though, like I said, I'm only giving it a 6.5 out of 10 because it will never live up to a super shoe but it still gives enough energy return to be really fast on shorter distances and just give a really enjoyable overall running experience. Now the final category for this shoe review is agility, which I've given this shoe a 9 out of 10. So like all Vibram shoes, they have the separated toe box where each individual toe has its own little pocket that it sits in. The shoes are extremely flexible, you have maximum ground feedback, so you truly feel nimble and agile on your feet, which is a really enjoyable experience when running, especially on technical terrain where the terrain is undulating and changing, and you can almost turn it into more of a playground and bound off rocks and logs and different things like that. And this will carry over into the gym as well when you're performing more explosive movements. You have that full ground feedback, you can really get the most out of your strength training. Now the only reason I give this a 9 out of 10 and not a 10 out of 10 is simply because it does not have as much grip as a trail specific shoe. So when you're running in trail specific shoes that have really grippy soles, they're obviously going to give you more confidence, especially when it comes to more technical terrain. But other than that, like I've said, it's a very versatile shoe. You can feel confident in your footing, whether you're on concrete, road, trails, or in the gym. So it's extremely flexible and an agile shoe that is just tremendous across the board. So that's all for this review, and thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.